Hi everybody, it's Jordan. We're going to do a tutorial on how to do competition hair for MTAD 2019. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to introduce all of the materials that I'm going to use for doing Addie's hair. So you'll more than likely need obviously a brush, a comb. We've got a bigger comb and a smaller comb. More than likely you'll need the smaller one with the bristles later. You also are going to need a big ponytail. You're going to need these little rubber bands. You're going to need some bobby pins. We like these ones that have the grip on the end of it. And Sally's has like a big container that will last you a long time instead of buying like the little packages every time you do the hair.
Get your hair color.
Yes, and make sure you do it to match your hair color. So Addie's hair is blonde, so we've got the blonder bobby pins to go with it. We also at some point are going to need hairspray. You're also going to need styling gel. So we got this brand at Walgreens, but you guys can use whatever styling gel you want. Just has to be some kind of gel that you're going to use in their hair. Then at the very end to finish it off, we got this Shine glossing spray. Also got that at Walgreens, but you can get any Shine glossing spray that you find as long as you have one. That's a requirement. And then the last thing we're going to do that we're going to need are these little, I don't know, jewels that we're going to put in the bun later. This is what the package looks like. Also got this from Walgreens. I'm going to put a link on where you guys can get them in the bio that you can look at after this video. So this is what they look like outside the package, and we'll show you how to use those later on. So those are all the materials that you're going to need, and we're going to go ahead and get started. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to actually wet Addie's hair down just a little bit. It doesn't have to be soaking. It's okay. It doesn't have to be soaking wet. Now, Addie's hair is naturally slick and it's very fine. For those students, and I know we've got a couple who've got naturally curly hair, I know it's a pain, but I really do suggest maybe straightening their hair before you do this. So their hair looks fine like this, because it's just ultimately going to look better, and it's probably going to be easier for you guys to do as well. So that's what I would do. Just going to wet it down just a little bit more here. Okay, now we are going to do a side part this year. So everyone's side part has to be the same regardless if it's your natural way or not. We are going to go ahead and do the side part on the left. Okay, so if you're looking here, it's going to be on the left of your hair, and it's going to be where I'm going to actually end up doing Addie's. So Addie's going to look back a little bit so I can see the top of her hair here. And we're going to work on that part first and foremost. Okay, so then some people use this. Addie's is probably going to go natural. You're going to move. Because that's where her natural part is. But if it's not their natural part, then you're going to have to part it on the left-hand side. Okay? You want to look at the camera? Does that look good? Mm-hmm. Perfect. Okay, from there, we're going to put some gel in her hair. This is going to ensure that all of the wispies are slicked back. Okay, because we do not want any wispies this year. So we're going to go ahead, just put a little bit of this in your hand. Okay, and then you're going to literally kind of do it all over. You don't want to do too much in one spot right away, although we'll be brushing through this anyways. There you go. And this is going to make everything easier to do too. It's not just for looks. I mean, this is going to make your life a little bit easier as well. Okay. So then you're going to take your comb and you're going to brush back all the way behind their ear. Okay? And you're going to want to make sure it gets that smooth look there. Just like that. There you go. And you might have to, depending on Addie's is going to be pretty easy to do because she's just got the natural straighter hair. But some of you might have to do this for a second to make sure it gets nice and slicked back. I think Addie's is good right now, but some of you might even need to maybe add a little bit more gel after you've slicked it and maybe go through and do it again to ensure that there's no bumps, there's no frizz, nothing like that's going on. There we go. Okay, how are you looking, Mom?
Good.
Then you're gonna take our big pony that you would have had set out. Okay, I'm gonna grab my comb while I'm doing this too. And then you just kind of naturally slick it. You gotta move up kind of small portions at a time and keep getting all of the bumps combed back. Now this part's pretty important too as far as where we're gonna be putting the ponytail. It's like almost about an inch up from the hairline down here. Okay, that's where we've got to make sure everyone's is pretty similar as far as where they're at. They're not too high, they're not too low. Although you know, we definitely don't want them too high. I think the lower they are, probably the better, so they all look more the same. But I go with Addie's about an inch up from her hairline there. Okay, so then you got to make sure all of that's nice, and see how the gel makes that really nice and slick look, which is what we're looking for. And you're gonna put that pony in and put it in as many times as you can get it nice and tight. Depending on the thickness of their hair, I suppose you could use 2 ponytails. But you just gotta make sure the ponytail's tight so it does not come out. Okay? And you'll notice that Addie's hair still got the slick look going on here. There are a few wispies, so maybe next time we will just use a little bit more gel, but at the end with the hairspray, that's gonna help fix that too. And even like if towards the end you wanna get some gel and they can put it in their part, like right here along the edge, for those kids with more curly hair, that's not a bad idea either. Or if you put some gel back here and you could, you know, gel that up too. So we might go ahead and do a little bit more here. So I didn't use very much. You don't want to see like globs in their hair necessarily. Oh yeah, then you just take that and all of these little wispies you can put up there. Good, so we'll just kind of get around her part. Yep, there you go. Okay, perfect. Moving right along. We are going to take this ponytail, so we're gonna have you turn back this way. Yep, and then we are gonna actually split it into 2, okay? So you're gonna take the ponytail and split it into 2. You know, and if you wanted to, just so because we're gonna braid these. So if you wanted the braids to look a little bit nicer, you can comb through those too. Just so there's not like tangles in the braid, because you can see those sometimes. It's like her hair got a little bit tangly when we started using the gel. So kind of watch that as you're going. Okay. We're gonna take these and you're just gonna do a normal braid. No French braiding or anything like that. And you're just gonna braid all the way down to the end here. Like I said at the end of the tutorial, we're gonna go ahead and all of these materials I'm gonna list in the bio. You can get the ones that we use. So far they're working well. Or if you have another favorite brand that you use, I know some of you have kind of already been using gel for a while. You can do that too. Now when you're braiding, you really wanna make sure you braid all the way down as close to the end as you can get it. There's a way that we can hide that later, but you don't wanna try to hide too much. Then Addie's can you get one of those rubber bands out for me? Then you'll take one of these plastic rubber bands. Probably wanna use clear, like no black or anything like that. They've got these clear ones in those big bags that you can get. And then you'll put it down there as close to the end as you can get it. You don't, like definitely not more than an inch do you want left. Okay, then you're gonna take the other side, and you're gonna do the exact same thing. You're gonna braid that. Nice and neat down to the end.
Do you want to talk about the hair extensions?
Yeah, so some of you, we realize, have short hair, okay? Now, if you've got fine hair and you're just worried about it not being thick enough, we don't really care about like how big the bun is, which I'm going to show you here in a second. So we really would like everybody to try to do it this way first, because it's, even if you don't have as thick hair or long as hair as Addie, you know, if you've got shorter hair, finer hair like Kira or Allie, we think you should still try to do this. Even if you've got a really tiny bun, it's okay, because it's all the same. Now, if you've got really, really short hair that you can barely get back in a ponytail, one, we need to be able to get it back in a ponytail. Two, they have fairly cheap extensions that you can get and actually put into your ponytail. You could do that multiple ways. Like you could braid the extensions first and then put it around and put the ponytail around it, or you could actually put it in your hair like actual extensions, then put your hair in a ponytail and just proceed like we're doing Addie's. They're not very expensive depending on like the quality you want. Basically, if you just need more hair to do this with, you can use those. That's an option. We'll kind of talk about the bun when I'm done, so I can explain some of that too. So now that we have the ponytail, we've got the two braids, we're ready to go to make the bun. So Addie's gonna have bobby pins ready to go to hand off to me. Girls, older girls, if you're doing this by yourself, you'll wanna lay those out ahead of time. Your arms might start to hurt a little bit. So from here, you're gonna take one of these, okay, and I'm just gonna start putting it around the ponytail. And then you just, as you're going, you're gonna put it in there, put bobby pins in there. You don't wanna try to wind it all up, then put bobby pins in, then it's gonna get loose, and of course we don't want any of these to fall out. I put these bobby pins into the ponytail. You can put them under the ponytail. Sometimes it doesn't feel the best, but that's how it's gonna stay. So far I've used 3 bobby pins. Some are gonna need more than others. Everyone's hair is a little bit different. Now this end piece here, I'm gonna tuck under the braid, okay? So wherever you end, it doesn't matter where you end. Like Addie's went around a whole time and a half. Some of yours might just go around one time. So just make sure you tuck that last piece in, okay? Then you're gonna take this other braid, and you're gonna kind of continue. I'm going the opposite way, and you're gonna go you're not gonna go on top of it, you're gonna go up around it like that. So you're gonna kind of continue the circle just in the opposite way. And you're gonna continue to, sorry, Addie, as you're weaving, you're gonna continue to add those bobby pins in as you're going, okay? Okay, and we're gonna bring this thing around. I might put one in down here before I worry about tucking that other thing in. Perfect, okay. This little guy, we gotta try to hide here the best that we can. Kind of gonna pick that up and literally like tuck it in there. Good, okay, now for a competition, you kind of like can make sure it circles out real nicely, and then I might like take one more or a couple more here and put them more like maybe in the bun, just to ensure that it's gonna hold. Addie's is pretty easy to hold here, but you put as many bobby pins in as long as they're for the most part hidden, but if they're their hair color, then you should be good to go. Okay, wow, that turned out good. Okay, perfect. So that's gonna be the bun that we're going for. Notice it's not covering their whole head. So when you're wrapping it, you wanna stay pretty tight in wrapping that circle and going around. Remember the first braid I went one way, then the other braid I started going the other way, and bobby pinning as you go. Now I know that there's been some talk of those buns that go over the kids' hair. We would prefer, actually we're making it mandatory that you don't get those. We just don't think they look fake, and it's gonna look different from what this looks like. So we're gonna, if you absolutely cannot use your own kids' hair, you have to go get those extensions. We've seen some on Amazon for $9.99. There's some at Ulta that's like the whole package. It's like $25. But those would last your kid, for the whole competition season, if not more. So that's kind of up to you guys, but we need real hair to weave this so everyone's looks the same, not the fake hair that's already pre-braided. Okay, and if you have any questions about that, or you need assistance maybe one time, like Addie or I can walk you through it, make sure we do that. And you can either go ask Miss Tammy for questions, you can ask myself, and we'll help you along. So we have the bun, that's the important part, and we're going to use these little things to add in there.
Do you want to hairspray this and make sure everything's down?
Yep, and you can always kind of hairspray as you're going too. So like after I got Addie's ponytail, you know, I could have probably threw a little bit of hairspray in there as you're going. And yeah, you want to make sure, you know, doing a couple coats, still slicking up all these wispies as you're going. Definitely a good idea. You literally cannot use enough hairspray. You just got to keep on slicking those babies back, okay? Now, these things we haven't played with around too much, so we might all have to kind of work with these, but these are going to basically twist into the bun. So let's start over here, for example. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to twist it into the bun so you can't see the twisting anymore. You just see the jewel, just like that. We're just going to use 6, we're thinking. We'll kind of have to adjust as we go. This will be for every dance though. So competition hair, this is like the norm now. They're gonna have these cute little twisty things in there.
And they all don't necessarily have to be in the same spot as
Right.
your neighbor or your friend.
Yep, as long as they're in there and they're not like too like directly next to each other, that's really the only thing you're trying to avoid. So, and every bun's different. So if you got to cover up any flaws with these, anything like that, these are good for that. Can you turn towards Addie, Mom? Or Addie, turn towards Mom. There you go. Maybe put one over here. And they stay in there really well when you twist them. And when you take them out, it's literally just twisting the other way. You don't got to pull them out or anything. You don't got to force. Where do we think? Maybe up here or down there? I think maybe up here. Yeah, I mean, like I said, you just got to kind of play with them as you're going. There. Looks really good.
Really good. And
Perfect.
those will sparkle when the light hits them when they're on stage.
Yep. Just makes the hair just a little bit more unique. Okay. So from here, I might just make sure, like I said, you can't use too much hairspray. And then this is how we finish it off. We're going to use the styling spray because this is going to make their hair like shimmer and sparkle and really get that slick back look, because we do not want any wispies this year. We don't want to hear any comments about that from judges, from us, from any other studio. We really want to look well put together. And this is unique. We haven't seen any other studios really doing this look.
And you guys, nobody, I don't want any glitter spray in the hair.
Right, that's what
Just
this
the
shimmer.
shine spray.
Yep, this makes
no
it shine.
spray glitter in the hair.
Yep.
Okay, so Eddie, do you want to look at me and we'll do a full...
Yep.
And guys, it's not like perfect, but that's what's
pretty
great
close.
about it, is it's perfectly imperfect.
Yeah, and like I had said before, even if this bun I'm just gonna maybe, like, here's a good example. She's got thinner hair. It may not be as big as Addie's, but if it's the same thing, it's fine because she's a littler person. I mean, it would look silly if this big of a bun was on her head. That goes for everybody. I mean, even like little Haley Martin, she's a littler person and her hair's a little bit thinner. I mean, it'll look just fine. You know, Fyra, who's got the super long hair, it'll look fine. It just matches with what they look like day to day. I mean, their stock buns were different sizes. These might be just a little bit different sizes, as long as it's all the same thing. And that's why we want to use those extensions. And you got to take care of those. I would read up on those. You got to wash them. I mean, just like real hair. If you're going to use those extensions, then do it. If you want Kira to have longer hair and have more of this kind of bun look, then get the long extensions and pop 1 or 2 of them in there. You may not use all of them.
Do you want me to go get ours so they can see what they
Sure,
look like?
you can go grab them real quick.
Got to do that.
Yep. Like I said, we'll put all of these things in the bio, all the materials. And any questions at all, you just come and ask myself or Miss Tammy. She's got some old extensions that she has used on her hair. Lauren's used them a couple times. So these are what they look like. And you could put a couple together and actually braid them if you wanted to. Or you just clip them in their hair and pretend like it's part of their hair.
Just clipping them in their hair.
Right.
But you have to make sure like you can't see the clip.
Yeah.
Right.
Right under in this area, just to make it thicker before you put the pony in, and then slick the hair over it,
Yep.
and then put the pony in.
Then their short hair just braids in with
Some of them you get, so like this might be enough for one person.
Yeah.
And you would put that underneath the hair come over, and then that would be
Right.
your pony.
And if you have any questions over that, we can explain that. I mean,
These
we
are
can.
super easy to clip on, and then you just slide them in the hair, clip them,
Yep.
and they're in.
I mean, and then you take care of these. I mean, you wash these sometimes, just
Yep.
like real
I
shampoo.
wash them, I curl them, I straighten them,
Yep.
whatever I'm doing with my hair that night.
Yep. Okay. That's all we have for you today. Like I said, any questions, please ask. All the materials are going to be listed in the bio. And that's all we got. See you later.